Hey Brooke, it's Jevany here. I thought you did a really good job on your article review and explaining it, and I learned a lot from it, and I thought it was really educational. I never thought that depression and anxiety would come from cancer survivors. I thought it would be joyous and happy that the cancer is gone and out of their bodies, but I never thought that the fear of it coming back or the fear of getting a different type of cancer would occur during this process. And when I was listening to your video, I thought it was really interesting that the article was only on African Americans and Caucasians, which makes sense. But then I thought, by 2030, which I mentioned in my last video, 42% of the world's population is going to be minorities. So therefore, we're going to have to achieve cultural competence and understand, different types of cancers that might be in Hispanics or Native Americans, Asians, etc. I also thought it was interesting about women and how they have higher anxiety and are more depressed than men, even though men have higher levels of cancer, which I do believe that you mentioned. And I was thinking maybe women are more depressed and have more anxiety because we're a little bit more emotional than men. Or maybe it's because women cancers are more media publicized, like breast cancer and ovarian cancer, as opposed to male cancers. I also thought it was interesting about being optimistic and how people who had higher levels of being optimistic were less depressed with less anxiety, which makes complete sense. And I thought about my other class where we talked about the fear of dying and how religion plays a role in that. And we talked about how religious people, if you're more religious, you were less afraid of dying, as opposed to people who were not as religious, they were more afraid of dying. So I figured maybe religion can play a role in how optimistic they are. And also maybe even their personalities can play a role in how optimistic or, not as optimistic, like neuroticism can play a role in that possibly. And I also wanted to know what other additional resources or topics you were going to include into your paper. For example, how depression or anxiety could be in family members, because family members might think, oh, I don't want my mom to get the cancer again, or I don't want a different type of cancer, or am I going to get the cancer too? Because it is my mom or my dad. So what are any additional topics that you're going to include? Because I'm really interested in that. Well, great job again, and I hope to hear from you. Bye.